One of the rarer Pokemon in Pokemon Go right now was just introduced, and that is going to be Frigibax in Pokemon Go, which goes all the way into Baxcalibur. And this Pokemon is a dragon and an ice-type Pokemon, which normally before it got put into the game had an extremely high CP, attack value, defense, and stamina value, and it looked like a game-breaking Pokemon pseudo-legendary. However, they introduced that Pokemon into the game, and it has been nerfed. But with that nerf, is it still good? Does it do good in PvP? And is it going to be worth your time, energy, and effort to try to hunt it down if you can find it in Pokemon Go? Let's find out. So welcome to the Trainer Club. Here we go. The Frigibax in Pokemon Go is a dragon and an ice type. So if you are going to find this Pokemon, more than likely it will show up in higher quantities if it is windy weather or if it is snowing weather, because both of those conditions will boost this Pokemon, and with the weather boost is going to bring out more of those Pokemon. So as of right now, I've been to multiple different locations and I've constantly had Pokemon Go up looking for this Pokemon on my nearby, and unfortunately I have not seen any on any nearby Pokestops for me in this immediate time frame. So let me know, have you guys caught one? Have you seen one? Did you make one and maybe you got there and it wasn't there? Let me know how you guys think. And I just want to say thank you guys for checking out the Let's Go Ready Up website. The watch sold out in approximately 30 seconds. So I do have more opportunities in the future to be able to get yourself one of the other 3 watches, because we did do the Bulbasaur, well, we call it the Venusaur Watch. We also have the Charizard Watch, Charmander, and we also have the Blastoise, Squirtle, and we also have Pikachu, all extremely sharp watches that you guys can see right here. So stay tuned to find out when those are going to be available. And the Frigibax does evolve into Arctibax. This Pokemon, extremely cool looking. Actually, probably one of my favorite evolution parts of this line. And then that one goes into Baxcalibur. And obviously the Baxcalibur is going to be where we're all going to be focused on. But we also may have some play for this Arctibax as well. Obviously not as a meta raid attacker, but it could do pretty good in PvP, so definitely stick around for that. And if you want to skip around the video, the timestamps are always there for you. The Baxcalibur did max out before the nerf at around 4,500, but now it maxes out at 4,013 with an attack of 254, a defense of 168, and a stamina of 224. This Pokemon, pretty good stats. This Pokemon's going to be weak to Steel, Rock, Fighting, Fairy, and Dragon, and it will have a single resistance to Water, Grass, as well as Electric. And as far as the moveset goes, it does get Ice Fang and Dragon Breath. Ice Fang, a little bit more geared towards a meta attacker standpoint, and the Dragon Breath geared towards PvP. And the charge moves are going to be Blizzard. We are going to have Avalanche, great meta attacker ice move, very powerful move. Then we are also going to have the Dragon Claw as well as Outrage. Dragon Claw geared more towards PvP, and the Outrage is going to be geared towards a meta attacker. But just remember, for the Dragon meta attackers, it's going to be competing with extremely strong Pokemon. So now let's take this Pokemon into consideration for a meta attacker. Obviously, we have all the stats and the statistics, but where does it sit up and what's going to be its most powerful moveset combination? The most powerful moveset combination for Baxcalibur will be Dragon Breath and Avalanche at 39.74, and then we have the Dragon Breath and Outrage at 38.97, followed by Ice Fang and Avalanche, which I'm going to put a notation on for us to check out, at 38.64, because that's an all ice type combination. Ice Fang Outrage at 37.86, and the Blizzard is at 37.06, and we keep on going down the list all the way to the Ice Fang and the Blizzard at 34.16. So remember, if we're looking at the ER value, which is taking the damage this Pokemon does per second and multiplies it by the total damage output, we need something in and around 40 to 45 range to really have a big meta attacker shakeup. But if it's above 45, it's definitely going to be one of the top Pokemon, unless it's a rare category such as Dragon. This one obviously fits into that Dragon category. So its Dragon stat is nowhere near the top, which we will check out where it sits right now. And then we're going to move into where it could potentially shake up some stuff in the Ice category, but there are some catches there. In the Dragon category, overall, we have the Mega Rayquaza with the Dragon Tail and Outrage at 59.87, followed by the Mega Garchomp, not out yet, Eternamax, not out yet, but the Mega Salamence is at 50.79. Then we have the Black Kyurem, Dragon Tail Outrage at 49.55, Shadow Salamence, Shadow Garchomp, which is out at 48.96, and the Shadow Salamence at 49.28. So then if we go to the second page, you can see a bunch of other Pokemon. Then we start seeing the regular Pokemon, non-Mega, non-Shadow, with the Rayquaza at 43.45, Palkia, 42.78, Salamence, 42.78. And just remember that the Salamence is a budget counter, right? Because it spawns in the wild, we can catch it in the wild, it's had Calm Day, so it's a very easily accessible Pokemon, as is Dragonite, and the Baxcalibur will eventually be somewhat similar to that, but right now it's extremely rare. And we have Zekrom, Dialga, Reshiram, and then we go to the next page with 21st, we have the Dragonite, Dragontail Outrage at 41.33. And if we keep going down, we see in the 26th spot, the Dragon Breath and the Outrage at 38.97. So being in the 26th spot with many dragons ahead of it, including other budget dragons, this Pokemon unfortunately will not be shaking up the top spot for the dragon category, and I would not suggest you guys power it up as a dragon type attacker. But that doesn't mean this Pokemon doesn't have use and isn't relevant, because it does get Avalanche and it's pretty high as an ice type attacker. So let's jump into that. So starting at the top, we're going to check out the all ice. So Ice Quick and Ice Charge, the Ice Fang and Avalanche at 46.38, Shadow Mamoswine with Powder Snow and Avalanche at 43.16, Shadow Weavile with Ice Shard and Avalanche at 39.39, followed by the Baxcalibur Ice Fang Avalanche at 38.64, followed by the Galarian Tarmaniton at the 37.87, and then the regular Mamoswine right there. So overall, it's the third Pokemon available out in the game right now, fourth overall. Whenever the Zen mode Darmanitan does come out, however, that one could definitely get nerfed as well and not be quite as good, but right now it's an absolute beast. So the one thing we have to consider here is that there are other Pokemon such as Mewtwo that does get an ice move that's not an ice type Pokemon that I would still consider an ice type attacker for this category, being that it is somewhat a weaker category in the game. So let's find out. At the top, we have the Ice Beam on the Mega Mewtwo Y at 50.1, not out yet. We have Primal Kyogre at the actual top available, 49.94 with the Blizzard. Another Mega Mewtwo X, then we have Black Kyurem, not out yet. Galarian Darmanitan Zen mode, not out yet. White Kyurem, also not out yet. Shadow Mamoswine, Mudslap and Avalanche at 45.07. Shadow Mewtwo, which is a powerful attacker, that's why we had to consider it, at 44.43. Then we'll have the Shadow Weavile at Avalanche at 42.54. Kyurem at the top, and then Baxcalibur in the 12th spot overall at 39.74. So the Mewtwo is really the Pokemon that I had to consider here. However, this Baxcalibur does sit above the regular Mewtwo, just not the Shadow Mewtwo with that Ice Beam, okay? So this Pokemon is very strong, and it does do extremely well, and it is a powerful meta ice type attacker, which definitely gets me excited. And I would say eventually, obviously, I think we're gonna have a calm day at some point. So what I'm thinking is that potentially Jangamo could be the next Go Fest shiny, and then it would go like that. And then Baxcalibur could either be introduced as a calm day Pokemon, or it could be in a dragon event, and then it would get the shiny, and then eventually would have the calm day shiny, and it would eventually become very readily available. But right now it is not. However, at the same time, this Pokemon very, very strong, and it is definitely a meta attacker. So would I say power it up for a ice type attacker? I would say definitely use it as an ice type attacker. However, you are going to have to use rare candy right now because it's virtually non-existent, or you're going to have to get that Pokemon, get it excited or not excited, and walk it for candy, which is going to take an absolutely long time to be able to accomplish. So rare candy will have to be it, and I wouldn't power this Pokemon up unless you guys lucky trade it, or have it happen to get a couple of them, traded it, got a lucky one, it's a good IV, or maybe you hatched one after the 15th and you're able to get it as a good quality IV Pokemon that you can then choose to power it up. Okay, so right now, not really so feasible to max it out past that. So that's what I'm going to say for the meta attackers, but let's check it out in PvP. But let's start off with the Arctibax. Arctibax in the Great League is ranked 58 with Dragon Breath, Avalanche, and Dragon Claw, and in the Ultra League it's ranked 132. The 100% IVs for this one is a 0, 14, 13 in the Great League, and in the Master League it would be maxed out to level 50 and buddy boosted because it maxes out below 2500 with enough cap to be able to get you a maxed out one and be under 2500. But let's not stop there, let's continue with Baxcalibur. In the Great League it's ranked 167. In the Ultra League, 148. So the Arctibax is better in the Great League and the Ultra League. Preferentially, you're just sticking with it to the Great League. And then in the Master League, it's actually ranked 20 with Dragon Breath, Avalanche, and Dragon Claw. Okay, guys, so if we're comparing this Pokemon, what would I suggest doing with it? Obviously, the one problem is multitasking it with an Ice type attacker means that you're gonna have to switch and TM the move back and forth depending if you're battling with it or if you're not doing battles and you're doing meta raid attackers, which is not that big of a deal because you get plenty of these TMs. But overall, this Pokemon, extremely strong as an Ice type attacker. Highly recommend. It is budget, but right now it is premium just because it's rare. But in the future, it will be a budget attacker and it's going to do very well. It's already above the Mamoswine, which impresses me a lot. And eventually it could have a Shadow, and that Shadow will overtake where the Mamoswine sits, right? In the Shadow form, because its regular is already stronger. Obviously, the one Pokemon that is hindering all of this and can make everything else extremely powerful, obviously, is Mega Mewtwo. But number 2 is that Galarian Darmanitan in the Zen mode. When are we going to get that Pokemon? I'm not sure, but in the future we will. So thank you guys for being here as always. To all of my likers, commenters, subscribers, Patreon members, everybody takes your support, subscription, participation to X level. I'm going to see you guys out in the next video. Peace. I want to take this time to thank everybody who supports me in every facet. It means the world to me, and an extra special thank you to all my Patreons. I greatly appreciate the extra support to continue to allow me to pursue Pokemon Go full time, allowing me to create my daily video uploads in the most timely fashion for everyone's benefit. Plus, I get the amazing experience of sharing my creative processes behind the scenes and raiding all around the globe with select upper tiers. Thank you everybody for being a part of the Trainer Club. You all mean the absolute world to me, and I will see you guys out on the next video.